All right, so here are some more examples. Okay, so what if we had a situation where we wanted to find the time of something? So that might be a person is bicycling for 45 miles. Okay, that's how far they want to go. And they're planning on traveling at 15 miles per hour, or the speed. The question is, how long is it going to take them? How much time? So for this one, we're going to use the time formula. So we want to know time, which I know is going to be distance divided by speed. So time equals distance divided by speed. Okay, so we know the distance, 45 miles, so we're going to set it up. T equals distance divided by speed, and then we're going to plug it in. The distance is 45 miles divided by the speed, which is miles per hour. And now we're just going to solve for t. So t equals 45 divided by 15. That's going to be 3. And then we'd have to look back to see what the units were. It's miles per hour. So I know this has to be 3 hours. So how long is this bicyclist it's going to take them? It's going to take them 3 hours. All right, the next situation. What if we were to have a plane, and that plane is traveling 500 miles in 2 hours. And we want to know how fast is the plane traveling. We would use our speed formula because we want to know its speed or its rate of motion. That is going to be distance divided by time. So we want to know the speed, distance divided by time. So, okay, so the distance is 500 miles. The time it takes you to get there is 2 hours. And so we then solve for the speed. 500 divided by 2, that's going to be 250. And then we use the units, miles per hour. Miles per hour. All right, last example. So what if we were to have now a situation where you wanted to figure out the distance of something? And they give you the speed and the time, speed times time. So a man drove 45 miles per hour for 4 hours and then 60 miles per hour for another 2.5 hours. What was the total distance the man traveled? So here we have a two-part situation. So 45 miles per hour for 4 hours. And then we have a second rate. What if they then traveled 60 miles per hour for another 2.5 hours? We want to know how far did the person go, or the distance. So we're going to do this distance formula 2 times. So distance equals speed times time. So the distance, we would then keep as our variable. The speed, they started off 45 miles per hour times 4 hours. So 45 miles per hour times 4 hours, that's going to be the distance is 180 miles. That was the first part. And then they went to the second part. So then they were driving a little faster, where you had 60 miles per hour times 2.5 hours, which is then going to give you 150 miles. So in the first part of their journey, they traveled 180 miles. In the second part of the journey, they traveled 150 miles. So the question is, how far did they travel total? So I just add the two together. 180 plus 150, that's going to be 330 miles. So the distance. Okay, so the 3 different ways that you can use the speed formula in different combinations. You can figure out the time, you can figure out the speed, and you can figure out the distance.